Political prisoners from Cuba arrived in Spain this week, the first of some 50 prisoners released by Havana. The 7 men flew into Madrid with their families. Shortly after they landed, they said their freedom after 7 years in prison marked the start of a new stage for Cuba. Anna Chapman, one of the Russian spies deported from the United States last week, was this week deprived of her British citizenship. Moves began to formally exclude her, meaning that she would no longer be allowed into the UK. Anna Chapman obtained a British passport after marrying an Englishman. Her lawyer said she wanted to return to London. An Iranian nuclear scientist who said he'd been abducted by U.S. spies returned home to Tehran on Wednesday. Shahram Amiri claimed he suffered extreme mental and physical torture at the hands of American interrogators. He was embraced by his family after his arrival. The American authorities insisted he was a willing defector who changed his mind and decided to board a plane back from Washington. A ship chartered by a Libyan charity carrying aid for Gaza docked eventually at an Egyptian port. The Amalthea changed course after Israel intervened, warning against any attempt to defy its blockade of Gaza. In May, Israel raided a flotilla of aid ships, leaving 9 Turkish activists dead. 13 branches of Credit Suisse Bank were raided by German police who are investigating an alleged tax fraud. Hundreds of officers have been investigating the Swiss bank since tax officials bought a CD holding the personal data of around 1,000 wealthy Germans. They're focusing on allegations that bank staff helped clients evade taxes. This week saw news that Singapore's economy has grown by a staggering 18% so far this year, almost double the Chinese rate. The figures have been driven by the recovery in financial services and the opening of 2 super casinos for tourists. The U.S. Senate approved the biggest shake-up of financial regulations since the Great Depression, aimed at preventing a repeat of the financial crisis that brought the world economy to its knees. Banks will have to set more money aside to cope with bad times, and there will be a stricter limit on how much they can borrow. For financial firms that do get into trouble, there will be an orderly liquidation process, so the taxpayer will not have to repeat the expensive bailout of AIG. President Obama addressed the press on the White House lawn, where he said his new reform would prevent a repeat of the financial crisis.
Because of this reform, the American people will never again be asked to foot the bill for Wall Street's mistakes. There will be no more taxpayer-funded bailouts, period. If a large financial institution should ever fail, this reform gives us the ability to wind it down without endangering the broader economy. And there will be new rules to end the perception that any firm is too big to fail, so that we don't have another Lehman Brothers or AIG. Because of reform, the kind of complex backroom deals that helped trigger this financial crisis will finally be brought into the light of day. And from now on, shareholders and other executives can know that shareholders will have greater say on the pay of CEOs, so that they can reward success instead of failure, and help change the perverse incentives that encourage so much reckless risk-taking in the past. In short, Wall Street reform will bring greater security to folks on Main Street.
A groundbreaking new law could have repercussions across predominantly Catholic and conservative Latin America. Argentina became the first country on the continent to legalize gay marriage. The vote by the Senate allows same-sex couples to marry and adopt children. Lawmakers ignored serious opposition and only took the decision after a marathon debate. On Friday came the news that the biggest fine ever imposed on an American bank was handed down to Goldman Sachs. The penalty of more than $500 million has been applied because the investment bank sold a product to its clients without telling them the bank was also betting against it doing well. The Royal Bank of Scotland, now 84% owned by the UK taxpayer, lost more than $800 million. More than 5,000 people were arrested in 4 countries in Asia in connection with illegal gambling during the World Cup. Police raided nearly 800 betting dens during the tournament. They allegedly handled more than £100 million in bets on matches in South Africa. The operation was carried out by the international police agency Interpol, which is based in France.